This is yesterday's one. So today we are going to see the data binding concept. See, this is the view. I will come here. Yeah, this is app components, right? In app.components we are the template means HTML file. So means the view means it is a component, and components contain the template. It will form the view in Angular. Okay, so now we use the form bind. We want to use the form binding. Form binding means to bind this data to the components, okay, and components data to the UI. Okay, so if you look here, see, the data binding means if I want to reflect the changes from UI to the components, means from UI to the component binding, and from the component to the UI. Okay, if you see UI to the component, this is one-way binding, and component to the UI, it is also one-way binding. But if we want to do both at the same time, that is a two-way binding. So we will study all things just now. Yeah, so I will list out the agenda here. Okay, first we will see the interpolation. Okay, we use this syntax, it's very simple. Then we will see, yeah, means through the interpolation under the one-way bindings, right? This is the one-way binding. Yeah, under the one-way binding we have multiple types. We can do the one-way binding based on our scenario, business scenario. Okay, then second one is interpolation, property binding. Okay, and third one is the event binding. Okay, so we will see one by one. I will remove all the codes from this template, that is an HTML. I will check. Yeah, nothing, it's blank screen. Okay, then I can use here a good format. Oh, okay, not needed. Like in span. Okay, suppose, see, now the interpolation. If I want to use the changes from component to the UI, yeah, if we want to do the changes from the component to the UI, then we use interpolation. Okay, we'll check in components. Suppose this is my components. In my component, the title is my app, or I can say title is Angular, right? Now I want to use this value, okay, into the my view. So I can just write here and we'll check, is there any effect, right? Angular, right? Means the data binding happen from component to the UI using. So next one is the property binding, right? So property binding means, suppose okay, we'll take one div. Okay, then I will apply here class while under this file I will use the simple letter input. Okay, then name is equal to name. Okay, yeah, this is the value. okay, equal to title. Close. Something missing. Value is equal to, okay, yeah, you can see here Angular, right? If I do any changes here, Angular is future, right? It's happening changes, right? Okay, so now if the third one is the event binding, right? Property binding, interpolation we saw. Now the event binding. Event binding means if I want to do the changes from UI to the components, right, then I should go for the event binding. This is also one-way binding, but instead of this, the changes from UI to the components, then I should go for the event binding. Okay, let's see. Suppose that is suppose time, it is a string I declare. Okay, constructor, if you are from the object oriented background, you will understand good. Constructor, then this dot time equal to new date dot to local date string or to local date time string. Okay, yeah, then format the code. Okay, and suppose there is one method get time. Yeah, and it will return this dot time, right? Okay, format the code and save it. Okay, now see, at the time of the component initialization, the constructor will be executed and the time will be assigned. Then get time, I have, suppose here I am having one button using BR, okay, or I can use here like div. Okay, then here I can use class call MD. This suppose 4, and in the second column div class call MD suppose 4, right? Format the code using your button button next get time class btn success, then okay, click event is equal to get time. Let's check. Yeah, because I'm returning the same time, but every click I must change the time, right? At every click it will give the new time. Now it's at 30:11, right? You can check the second, 36, 37, 38, right? So this is the event binding. Whenever I want to do the changes from UI to the components, then I should go for the event binding. So now the two-way binding we will check. For this two-way binding, I will do, I will remove this. Yeah, and I will check here the suppose title, right? And in component also title this is not required. Yeah, I can assign there also is equal to suppose key. Hi friends. Okay, hope it's good, it is working. Yeah, hi friends, right? Okay, so now for two-way binding, yeah, for one-way binding, property binding and the event binding, right? Property binding means from component to the UI, and event binding means from UI to the component, right? So the combination of the both will become the two-way binding. Property binding and event binding, property and event, right? Changes, I will check this. For this, yeah, I choose the ng model directory. I can change here Avinash, right guys? It is the two-way binding. We do the components. See, if we do the changes in the UI, it's go to the components, and from components it will appear into the UI again, right? I'm doing changes typing hi, it's going to the components, and from component to the UI here. Yes, that's happening, right? So that is into a binding. So this is all about the data binding in the Angular. So you have to explore, guys, more. You can refer these official sites. The next part we will see the reactive form. So do the practice and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.